Greetings, folks. Welcome to another edition of After Hours. Tonight, I'm joined all the way from California by Rachel Nussbaum. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Tim. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, no, not a problem. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, so on a scale of 1 to oh my God, how hot is it over there at the minute?
You know what? It's been on and off. I'm in Northern California, so we're not by the beach. Well, we are by the beach, but it's we had a few really sweltering days, and now it's pretty dreary out. I prefer the colder weather, so that's cool with me as long as it wants to stay like that.
Yeah, you're higher altitude up there, haven't you? You're not down in the desert.
Oh God, did you hear we hit a record for how hot it has ever been on Earth?
Oh my God.
Death Valley got up to something ridiculous. It was like a record that hadn't been recorded since like the early 1900s.
Jesus, that's madness. Yeah, and I complain when I complain when the sun comes out in the UK. As you can see, I'm not built for sun.
I mean, neither am I.
No, I'm one of them people that just turns bright red as soon as I see the sun. I just burn. It's just So it's exciting times for you then.
This has been really exciting. I'm very nervous but very excited about it all.
Your first standalone work.
My first standalone work, and it's funny because it's actually a kind of older piece.
Right. That's often how it works, though. I think. Yeah.
I guess so. I had put it on a shelf for about 6-7 years, and honestly, like
really,
that
long.
Yeah, I wrote it back in 2014.
Right.
And the original publisher that I submitted it to folded before they even got back to me.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I have this very specific novella. She up there? But then when I worked with Madison on Little Girl Lost, I thought they might like it even back then. I was like, you guys,
I'm always because they like such a range of stuff. Because I mean, some of the things, because I've had quite a few of the Madison authors on there, and obviously there's myself as well. And it's all very different sort of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which it was like the Youth Disrupted or whatever they're called, the anthologies Little Girl Lost and Little Boy Lost, because I was in Little Boy Lost.
I was in Little Girl Lost.
Yeah, and that was my first multi-genre thing, and it's still one of the only multi-genre things I've been in, because most places just don't do multi-genre, because obviously
when you say multi-genre, do you mean multi-genre book? Like
as in the stories in it, they're like multi-genre. Yeah, because obviously my story in it is sort of Lovecraftian horror, and then you've got your sci-fi in there. And there's even a romance story in that, and it's just
I have not read all the wonderful stories in there.
But the thing it's just I've just got this thought in my head of like people who've picked it up because the romance writers in it. I just want to know what they think of the madness that I wrote, because it is twisted.
Even my story I submitted to them there, Sarah Small, that had been my I had been rejected multiple. I made it to a bunch of short lists with that one, and I always got, hey, we love this, you made it to the almost but not quite, not quite.
I hate that. It's horrible, isn't it? It's just like, especially when they give you really great feedback and you think, yeah, I've got this. And then they go, nope. Like dangling the carrot in front of you and then taking it away again.
we love to see it. But that had been kind of so I tipped when I first became a writer, like professionally. I was in my first short story was straight up horror, creature feature. And then my second short story was Diesel Punk.
Excellent.
And that's and I kind of stuck with like I love science fiction, but I ended up doing a lot more horror than science fiction. And that was my first like non-horror thing, was from, well, it had horror aspects to it, but I would describe it as dark fantasy, and that's very much what I would say Betterlands was, and that's why I thought of Madison when I think I approached them like a year ago, and I'm like, hey,
but did you send it in when they did the novella Call?
I did.
Yeah, because I got one accepted on that as well. So yeah.
That makes our books brother and sisters.
Yeah, exactly. No, that actually brings me into what I was going to ask. I was going to like Bitterlands. So what would you classify it as? Because I've read the blurb and everything. It sounds a really, really interesting concept.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's really cool concept. What would you kind of class it as?
So it's a multi-class.
Nice. I like that.
It's definitely dystopian. There's definitely some strong horror elements and a little bit of body horror. And some romance. And I'd say it would I'd almost say it's like almost young adult, except I think it can be enjoyed by like young adult and up. Yeah.
I like that kind of thing that's like, because a lot of my stuff, I mean, even when I do, because I've done dystopian stuff and I've done cyberpunk, but it always ends up having a cosmic horror element to it, or some element of horror or psychological twistedness. There's always something in there somewhere.
We write what we love.
Exactly, this is it, isn't it? Yeah. No, because it's funny, because I was because looking it up and I thought I have no idea what I would say. I thought, there's the kind of like, so yeah, would you like to just say what the sort of the concept, the blurb of it is, because it's such a cool idea.
Thank you. So we wrote it in the Betterlands.
Oh yeah, nice.
It just came in yesterday.
Oh, that's the real one.
The full Monty.
Oh, that's cool.
They did such a fantastic job with the cover.
Yeah, I love Daedra's covers. They're always spot on. Yeah.
So this takes place in a world where the air has been poisoned. They don't really. I don't really get into why, because why doesn't really matter. But it'll affect you in one of two ways depending on your blood type. You will either, it's the same disease, but it'll affect you differently. You will either catch the flesh rot and you will slowly rot to death, or you will catch soul rot and slowly go insane. Nice. I love it. That's such a great idea. Yeah, I love the duality of it as well. Like, because you see with the COVID and things like that, there's been studies how it affects different people with different sort of genomes and things like that, and it affects like people differently. So that's a really cool. I love that duality of it. That's a really cool idea. Soul. Thank you. Love it. Soul rot. Yeah. Soul rot. Sounds like a black metal album. Death metal band, didn't it? And the song that's in the trailer that we're going to see later is indeed. Yeah, well, we're going to show that in a minute. Yep. Yeah, so that was actually something in it goes into, like, if you listen to the lyrics, one is describing the flesh rot, one is describing the soul rot, and then the third verse is kind of just like the effect that losing loved ones has on you. Right. That makes a lot of sense. I can see that. And that actually came from there's so many creepy little children's songs about tragedies, like, isn't there just London Bridges, Ring Around the Rosie. Yeah, like the Black Death. Or have you ever heard I Had a Little Bird? Maybe no. That one's not as well known, but it's I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened up the window and influenza. And that was about the Spanish flu epidemic. Flu. Yeah. Oh God. It's because there's nursery rhymes about Jack the Ripper. Oh no. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's madness, isn't it? Yeah, right. Yeah, so we've got this trailer. So who was it made this for you?
So this is my good pal and comedy partner, Duncan Mace.
Nice.
We've been friends for a decade. We're writer friends. He's a writer and filmmaker.
Excellent.
And got him to put this together for me.
Excellent. Right. So we'll here is the trailer for it.
Days in the sun, such harmless fun, they remind my heart of you. But you crumbled away, now alone I will play. My heart crumbled away with you too. Bundles of flowers, a bouquet towers, they remind my heart of you. But your soul flew away, how I wish it could stay. My heart flew away with you too. Rows of stones, such beautiful bones, they remind my heart of you. But you rotted away at the end of the day. My heart rots away for you too.
It's a brilliant video. It's a absolutely superb video. Now, when you were on, because you were on a live launch party with me the other night,
yes,
you said something. That creepy voice, that's you, isn't it?
That's me. Yeah. that's me. Originally I was gonna try to get a friend's kids to sing it, but just so hard to arrange stuff. So I used to do theater, so I just did one of my voices, and Duncan manipulated it a little.
I was going to say, did he put some filters on it, that kind of thing? Because it's amazing what you could do to make your voice sound really freaky.
Oh, yeah.
Like really, because I've got Audacity and things like that, so I do remixes and things like that. And I can make when I've done these trailers, I've mucked around with different effects. It's just like, oh, now I sound like Darth Vader. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool collection of images he's got there. Well, particularly like the flower and the maggots. You can't go wrong with maggots, can you?
Yeah, no, I loved that.
Yeah.
It was blew me away the first time he showed me that. But yeah, I came in with a collection of. He said, "Give me your key visuals," and made that for me. And he will be opening up his commissions to do these in the future. So
excellent. So all you people at home, if you want to check out his website, the link is below. While you're there, hit subscribe. While I remember, because I always forget. I always forget. Yeah. So that comes out on the 11th, is it?
Yes, on the 11th.
Nice.
And
so you were saying just before we came on that you've been trying to get in contact with local bookshops and stuff.
I have, yeah. No, I was. I've been. I've only ever been in anthologies before.
Yeah.
But since this is my first book with my name on it, and since I live in the Bay Area, I thought it might be a really great opportunity to try to network and get my name out there in the community.
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, go for it. I mean, it's really funny because I literally had my first few things come out and then COVID hit. So I had all these plans to go down to a local bookshop and do this, that, and the other. And it was like, nope, no, you won't. And that's why I ended up doing all this stuff online.
I mean, I literally moved. I moved from Hawaii to California in the hopes of getting more involved in the writing community, especially in the Bay Area. And then COVID happened.
Yeah. It was just like the biggest killjoy in history, wasn't it?
It was, no.
Just like, nope. All your plans, nope.
No plans for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you were saying before we started, like video games.
I do indeed. Yes, very much
so. That's really funny because it's the actual, and I talk about this in the after, but the actual idea started from video games.
Did it? It's really funny because a few people have had on here, but a good friend of mine, David Green, a lot of his ideas have come from like he recently did a dystopian novelette, and that was inspired by like the Fallout series
rad
things
cool.
like that, and it was just like it's brilliant.
So mine didn't come from any one particular game, but like just the trope in video games where it's a dystopian and people have gone crazy and their bodies are rotting, and I was like, what if it was either or? And that's how the ball got rolling for that.
Nice. So you've got people falling to bits or going, well, literally falling apart in two different ways, like physically and mentally. It is a really cool concept. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and there's some. So my main character is a 15-year-old girl, an orphan of the rot. Her family is gone, and she is kind of living in the slums of this rebuilt society, and has this friend who's from kind of the upper class.
Right.
And so she is from an area like there's literally at the beginning. She runs by a body dumping ground, and it's just so normal for her.
Yeah.
But
everyday things. Yeah.
Everyday thing. She has a friend who is very wealthy, and an accident happened with his protection from the bitter fog, the air you breathe in that gives you the rot, and he now has flesh rot. So it's this she has already lost so much to this disease, and it's just that push of having to try to be there for her friend. And then it's flashing back to her childhood when there was a crack in her house and her sister caught the soul rot. So it's flashing back and forth between the present where she is dealing with her friend's illness and just
and also dealing with the memories. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. That sounds pretty bleak. I approve.
You know what? It's a little bleak.
Nice.
But, there's actually
dystopian fiction isn't it? It's just.
It's kind of brutal of me to be like, it's a little bleak. I mean, you can see the cover.
I was going to say, I love that cover because when you look at it from a distance, it's quite bright colors and flowers and kids playing, and you think, oh, okay. And then you look closer, it's like, gas masks.
This is actually what I asked Deidre for.
Right.
She was
excellent.
She was throwing me some ideas for what she had in mind, and I was like, I love what you're doing, but I had a thought. I always pictured a bright, beautiful meadow and two little girls in gas masks.
It is a really cool image. It's very eye-catching, isn't it? But again, it's like not until you get up close to it that you realize, hang on.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I like that kind of thing. I like
that's exactly what I like too.
Yeah, it's definitely a hook, isn't it? It's kind of like, ooh, that's interesting. It's like the sort of art that I like, with that sort of uncanny valley. There's something not quite right about it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that makes your flesh creep, doesn't it? It's like, good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've got to speaking of flesh creeping, I am so jealous about your little plague doctor.
My little guy. His name is Barnabas.
Oh, I love him. Because I saw them pop up on like the adverts and stuff on Facebook, and I was just like, I must get one of them at some point.
Yeah, I absolutely needed him the second I saw him. I'm like,
such a cool little chap. Yeah. Yeah, because back to the video game thing. When I first spoke to you, your profile picture was you in cosplay of Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village.
And I did that. That was right when they dropped that game preview, and the internet just blew out.
Just exploded,
Everyone's like, I want a big vampire mommy wife.
Yeah. That was so funny, that was.
And I was like, I'm really pale. I could be a big vampire mommy wife.
Excellent.
It was February. It was Women in Horror Month. And I'm like, I know what I have to do. So, You can like maybe if you want to put up a picture.
Yeah, because it was
Radical. Thank you so much.
Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, excellent!" Because I bloody loved that game. I thought I loved that game. I thought it was great. I'm a big fan of the whole series, but there was something about that one really.
I bet you can guess. I mean, aside from Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh yeah, aside from that. Yeah,
I mean, she was in a that was S tier, but I really loved
House Benevento.
Well, of course, yeah, the baby was the best part. Like just the way it's like throat like you can tell I'm a body horror freak. The throat undulation.
The first time when I come out and I heard the warbling cry, and you walk down that corridor following the umbilical cord, and it come around the corner, I went, "Oh dear, fuck! What is that?" It was just like, right, run.
No, my favorite thing was the Duke. I just loved him.
Oh, he was great, wasn't he?
He was just when you meet him and he just folds out of the cart.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Yeah.
And did you catch him saying that he's friends with the other merchant?
The merchant from 4, yeah.
What idea about it? Just
yeah.
Yes, of course, they're best friends. I love that.
Yeah, I loved it as well. Yeah, because like I said, I'm a big fan of the whole series. I know it was just like such a nice fan nod. There was a few of them in there. It was like Heisenberg, when you fight in Heisenberg, and Chris Redfield blows up the factory.
Was it just me, or was Heisenberg serving up such like strong Nicolas Cage vibes?
He really was. Yeah, he really was. Nicolas Cage in a hat, wasn't it, with a big hammer? But the bit when you're fighting him right at the end, and Chris blows up the thing, and he goes, "That boulder punching asshole." For people who don't know, there's like one of the most silly Resident Evil moments ever is the end of 5, where Chris Redfield punches a boulder repeatedly. You have to, it's like a QTE, you have to hammer the buttons and he's punching a boulder. And everyone's just like, what?
Have you ever played Undertale?
Which one?
Undertale. It's a Undertale.
Undertale. No, I haven't. No.
There's a super tough character in it named Undyne. She's the captain of the guard.
Nice.
And in between the battle scenes, it'll like say what the character's doing as they like wait for your attack. At one point, it says Undyne suplexes a boulder just because she can.
That's gotta be an in joke, hasn't it? It's gotta be. Yeah, that's brilliant. Just because she can. Yeah.
But yeah, I love video games. I actually one of my more recent short stories, Bleed Over, was about virtual reality video games.
I've done one about virtual reality as well. Yeah, called Red Ring of Death. Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Because I've got the VR, and I wrote it literally just after getting it. I was just
I'm so jealous.
I've got such an idea about this.
Yeah, no, I was very inspired by meta horror games. Have you ever played like Doki Doki Literature Club?
I literally played it the other week. When it came on the Xbox, I downloaded it and played it one night. I had a couple of drinks and I was playing it, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Did you go in? How much did you know going in?
No, I intentionally didn't, because people had said, Tim, you will love this, but don't read about it. Don't read anything about it, but just trust me. It's not, you will like it. Just go and play it. So I did.
See, that game is so suited to me because I actually love cutesy visual novels. I think they're adorable.
Yeah.
So like me and my friend went in.
I've never played anything like that, because I mean, it's just...
there's some really great ones. There's one called How to Fool Boyfriend, where you're a human girl at a school for pigeons and you have to find the pigeon boyfriend of your dreams. But then there's a secret second game to it where the human girl gets killed in the first act, and you assume the role of the birds and have to like figure out like why she got murdered and why the world is only pigeons. It's brilliant. I love that game.
That sounds bonkers. I might have to check that out.
I highly recommend
But
it.
like you say, anything that messes with your head, I'm a fan of that.
So
kind of
I
thing.
love meta horror, and I wanted to that was a Bloodbound book anthology, and I was like, how can I take this idea of meta horror, like when it feels like something's got control of your computer, and put that in a future setting. And I'm like, what if it's like when we get games installed in our head, and that horrible thing has control of your brain.
Nice.
And can't turn off the computer to turn it off because it's your head.
Because it's in your head. No, I like that. That's cool. Yeah. Because mine, I went down the it was an online game, and it was what you're doing in the game was actually summoning. By breaking the seals in the game, you were actually summoning like a Lovecraftian horror. You know.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you're real big on the Cthulhu and the tentacles.
Oh, I am indeed.
Mad
I am,
respect.
Yeah, it's my kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of what I started doing. I was just like, I have this idea.
Right.
It's what I read. It's what I like. I enjoy doing, and yeah. So yeah, anything weird.
Are you a fan of Junji Ito?
What's that?
Oh, he's my favorite manga artist. He does this. If you ever read Uzumaki.
Oh yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
just
I got you.
The insane body horror. And
yeah.
Just like, I don't know what about body horror that attracts it to me so much, but I've found it fascinating all my life.
Yeah. I haven't. I actually have quite a lot of body horror in mine as well. Especially with the weirder aspects, it kind of works. The two kind of mix really well. I've got a friend as well, and she's the same. She's like, it creeps me the hell out. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but I love it, and I don't know why. About body horror, it's just like, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
There's so many different it can look so different in different things. Like I don't know if you've ever seen a Studio Ghibli film. Miyazaki, like he did Kiki's Delivery Service, Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah.
But he also did Princess Mononoke. Don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
But it takes place in like feudal era Japan with demons and stuff. And there's this gore in that. It's just these bloody flaming worms that kind of like grow up out of the creatures. Like in this world, if a god becomes corrupted, they can't die, they just turn into a demon. Right. And there's a part where a girl is trying to help a dying boar god, and she passes out on his tusk right as the bloodworms were growing, and now she's part of him. And there's a part where she's like trying to get out, and the worms are just growing and erupting through her skin, and it looks beautiful. No. But compare that to like movement is so fluid, it's like so pleasing to look at, but like compare that to like Junji Ito's just like horrifying, like you want to look away but you can't. There's so many different aspects and so many different ways you can play with it, and I do play around with body horror quite a bit in Borderlands. Like there's the one aspect that like her friend's like rotting to death.
Yeah, I kind of thought that. I thought you can have some beautifully grisly scenes from that, can't you? Yeah.
There's one scene where so he's like in basically a scuba suit kind of thing, like not like I visualize it as an antique like scuba suit that's like pumping narcotic gas so he doesn't feel any pain, and he's just getting sick of all the rich assholes staring at him, like he's very bitter about his whole situation. And he's like, I really want to freak them out. And she's like, I mean, if you want to. So he knew his hand was in bad shape, so he pulls off his glove, and like some of his fingers fall off. Oh. And like all the people who had been watching them, all the rich people who had been watching them with their gas masks, like one of them throws up in his mask and has to run to an emergency station. That's
hilarious. That's brilliant.
And he's just like,
yeah. Did you ever see the 90s film I, Zombie? Now that was a bleak, bloody film. It was basically a
Yeah.
guy turning into it. It was basically the whole concept was it was a guy turning into a zombie in a squalid little London bedsit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Did
and
they
like
remake
trying
that?
to like screwing metal plates to keep his like muscles on and all this. It was just like, oh man, it's horrible, but it was such a great film. So,
I love that that idea of just like I had one short story. It Takes a Lot of Guts, which was my serial killer short story that was in Man
Nice.
Behind the Mask. And my whole concept was I had this immortal serial killer. And like the people don't, my main character doesn't know he's immortal. And she accidentally walks into his center of operations in a tool shed where he like she sees all of his tools laid out.
Yeah.
And then she hears boo, and he comes in and he's like, just kidding, called timeout, you're safe for now. And he's like, goes up and he pulls out this like a staple thing, and he's one of her friends got him like in the arm, and he just starts stapling his arm closed in front of her, and she does not know he is immortal at this point. She's like,
what? Nice. Just hang on 1 minute.
just 1 minute.
So the thing is, I've seen the like people doing that kind of thing with because I'm a chef. Well, I was a chef for like 20 odd years, and you see people just like, oh crap, hang on, where's the gaffer tape?
That's wild.
Seriously, I've seen like I've done it myself. Just like, oh, right, just fucking tape it up till the end of the shift.
That's fantastic. That's crazy.
Yeah. Super glue is the other one that chefs swear by. It's just like
I have heard of the super glue thing.
Yeah. It was actually developed for like the Vietnam War for soldiers, for GIs, wasn't it? It was actually that's what it's for.
Have you ever Googled what chainsaws were originally for?
No, I haven't.
Don't.
Just don't.
Don't. You're not gonna like it.
You know, that's the first thing I'm gonna do when we get off here now.
It'll be
as soon as anybody says that.
You can have it as a treat.
Yeah, thank you. But you know what I mean? It's like the big red button, isn't it? As soon as somebody tells you not to press it, that's what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with Bitterlands, so that's coming out now. So have you got anything else sort of coming out in the near future?
Yeah, I do actually have another short story coming out this year, and that's going to be, I mentioned that before, with Splatter Club.
Nice.
My short story, Protein. It's
Protein, yeah. Nice.
It's about a group of friends.
Club.
Yeah, that's run by K-Trap Jones and the wonderful boys at Bloodbound Books. So
Bloodbound,
very much looking. Yeah, those are rad dudes.
Yeah, there's something I'm not branched out into yet, but it's only a matter of time before I do some splatterpunk. It's only a matter of time.
So like it's interesting because I wasn't like, I'm not super in like, I wouldn't say I'm super into splatterpunk per se, but I'm into a lot of splatterpunk adjacent things like body horror.
Yeah, I think that's like, probably what that'll be where I'm come from as well, because I'm into a lot of the body horror.
It's like a diagram, you know, where they
your Venn diagram, yeah.
So I'm like, it's a lot of fun. Those guys are there, and everybody in the Splatter Club is so nice and supportive. So that's really awesome.
Nice. I always find that it's really funny because you talk to sort of the average person in the street, and you say like you're a horror writer and all the rest of it, and they'd imagine us to all be a right bunch of like miserable misanthropes just sort of sitting there going kill, but we're all lovely.
It's so funny because it's like anytime I try to, you know, someone will be like, oh, you're a writer, what do you write? And I'm like, I don't want to, you know, I want to be honest about who I am.
Yeah, of course.
But like a lot of the time when I say horror, I get looks. And I'm like, it's what? Come on, like it's weird that some people who aren't into horror, like I'm like, but have you watched any or read any good horror? Like
yes,
and like and it's really like it's really funny because my father, my dad, he doesn't really like horror that much,
Right.
like not at all.
Yeah.
But he's the one who started this.
Nice.
Because when there was one day when my mom came home and my dad had been watching me, and I'm like 2, and she's like, "Do you have a good time with your dad?" And I'm like, "He had a bug." And she's like, "Who? Dad had a bug?" I'm like, "No, he had a bug." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, he had a bug, a bug." And then she looks at me and she's like, "You showed her Alien?" And I wonder if that's where it comes from.
A bug. Of course.
A bug.
The bug. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I got into it really early as well because I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up. I spent like majority of the time, and he was well into all this Hammer horror and all that. So yeah, and if anything came on, he had to watch it whether I was there or not. so I grew up watching all these old like Dracula movies and all this kind of.
So my dad. That's one of the things my dad really loves are like the Bela Lugosi Dracula movies. Yeah. When I was playing around on the TV, I found a horror movie classic channel and he caught me watching it. And he's like, "You like this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And he started renting all the classics. He rented Godzilla, he rented Dracula, Frankenstein, the original, The Thing, and all of that stuff. So I had a appreciation for that stuff. And then I grew up in the 90s. And everyone was so into Goosebumps. Was that ever a thing over?
It was a thing over here, but it was sort of the generation after me because I grew up sort of I grew up the early 80s. So yeah, I mean, when I was like a kid, we just went straight to the Stephen King. That was almost like the kids' horror with the Stephen.
Oh
no. No, because I had a letter sent home from my teacher once because I was reading a Ramsey Campbell cold print, and it's just not suitable for children. But I was reading all that stuff back then. This was primary school, which I must have been 8 or 9 or something like that. And my grand thought it was hilarious because it was her that bought it for me off the market.
That's awesome.
It's just different time, wasn't it? It would just like this because I guess that was around the sort of time the whole video nasty thing kicked off. And that's when your censorship really came in, was around that sort of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then after that, we had point horror, which was sort of the younger adults or / kids, but it was like you're more what you call now young adult. But that was basically, the Hitchhiker was a point horror.
I remember that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then obviously, I was a bit too old for the Goosebumps when that came in. So obviously, I was on the Clive Barker and all that by then. So
it's the kiddie stuff, but it was those covers that just reeled us in as kids. We're like, oh, look at that cover.
The covers were really cool. It's
they were awesome.
Again, there's something that drags you to them because I've seen them in shops and that, and I've seen like the video games. It's like whenever because I scroll through looking for like news and stuff that's on sale. You know what I mean? Everybody does it, don't they? It's like, all right, let's see what's on sale this month, and you see like that cover pops up and you go, ooh, no, I don't. One of them totally. I do want to give a go. Though they did a VR one, didn't they?
What is it?
A VR Goosebumps with
no
with
way.
the creepy ventriloquist dummy and all this kind
Slappy.
of stuff. Yeah.
How do I remember that?
I don't know. I was quite disturbing as well, the voice and the movement. But
Slappy was R.L. Stein's version of Chucky.
Right, gotcha.
He's like almost a mascot of that world, like that. And are you afraid of the dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? Yeah.
You remember that?
We had I do. I remember Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah.
Did you know that
we had
that inspired Shyamalan to make The Sixth Sense?
Did it? I never knew that.
He got the idea off of one of the episodes, and it was basically his first twist he stole. Not necessarily stole, but was very much inspired by.
His first twist of many. Yeah. Did you ever watch Robot Chicken?
I used to love Robot Chicken. What a twist!
I'm Mike Shyamalan with a twist.
What a twist! I'm just upset that he didn't name the elevator movie with the devil Hellevator. That would have been such a good title.
That was a missed opportunity, wasn't it? Hellevator. Oh, I love it.
He's got so many good concepts, but the execution.
I was going to say, I haven't actually watched that many of his movies because I gave up after a while, because they're all like high concept, but it just never really worked for me somehow. It was like The Village. I was just like, yeah, I get it. I get what you're trying to do, but it's like The Sixth Sense. I thought it was a great concept and it could have been done so much better, in my opinion. But it's a classic.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I do remember like I seeing it as a kid, and the little ghost girl creeped me out, but maybe that's just because little ghost girls are always creepy.
You can't go wrong with a little creepy ghost girl, can you? You just can't go wrong. That's why it's like do you ever play the Fear games? The first
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Bloody little girl in that scared the crap out of me because she just randomly pop up. Go, go away.
It all comes back to creepy little girls with the long hair. There was a prank video where they had this little girl in a hallway at a hotel. Like nice. They got her the hair, and then they had she was holding a doll, and they just filmed people walking back to their rooms late at night. And not one person stopped and said, "Hey, are you lost?"
I bet they didn't. They all ran away. Oh my God, it's the kid from The Grudge. It's like The Shining, isn't it? Whenever I go into a hotel with that kind of carpet, I expect the two little girls in the gingham dresses. Funnily enough, we'll actually get Callum to put a video in here because he did something that creeped the hell out of the internet the other week. He used that Reface app and put my face on both of them two creepy little girls.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, Callum, go for it. Did you ever
fantastic.
Do you remember the band Aphex Twin? They did a song "Come to Daddy," which is one of the most disturbing things you'll ever hear. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh.
Come to Daddy. But the video on that was basically loads of little kids running about with this guy's face on them, and it was just like really, really weird. It was like that Uncanny Valley thing again.
No.
Yeah, it was odd.
We hate to see it.
Yeah. It's the 90s. It was made in the 90s. I mean, we had some brilliantly bonkers things back then.
So
like music videos used to be awesome, and you used to get. I
can't remember the last time I've seen a music video.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, nowadays they're all just kind of people dancing about, shaking their ass and things like that. It was just like you used to have a lot more. Like they were almost like mini films. The music videos.
Well, that's I think my favorite band, Coed and Cambria. Just did.
I know those. I've heard of those. I don't really, not really familiar with them, but I've heard of them.
I'll send you some stuff. But they recently did a song called Jesse's Girl 2. Mm-hmm. And they actually got the
original.
Yeah, they actually got the original guy. And the music video, the music video is him, and he's got a bar. And he's in the bar, and the song is about how Jesse's girl was actually a psychopath.
I like that.
Like, it's a great concept. Yeah.
That's
so
genius.
The music video is just this real hot chick just causing trouble, like a total psycho hose beast, making issues, setting fires in the bar.
Psycho hose beast. Now there's something I've not heard since the 90s. Psycho hose beast. Oh, great insult. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, right. Yeah. So she's a nutcase. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I'll
No,
send it to
I
you.
don't know where I've heard that name. Maybe in one of the magazines or something. Coheed in Canberra. They've been around for quite a while, haven't they?
Quite a while. They had an older band in the 90s called Shabuti, and they no, it didn't.
No, but anyway, that's probably I probably remember reading about them. I used to read a lot of the music magazines back then.
If you saw the animated Tim Burton produced film 9, they had a song in the trailer for it, and that's like really what kind of people like remember that song most of all. And that's actually like I had known about them for years and like thought they were pretty cool. The guys got really wild hair,
right?
And they won my heart with that. So they've been my favorite band since 2008. Nice.
I like it when things like that happen, where you'll just, I mean, I get it quite a lot with video games, where you'll get I used to get it more with films, but the music in films now is sort of, it's got more sort of urban and dubstep and all that. It's not really my cup of tea. But I remember, like when I first saw that, like The Crow. I mean, that would just shot me in the heart. It's like,
I love The Crow. Oh my god!
The soundtrack to that was like, in my opinion,
the shadows scream.
The Cure.
Mumming me away from you.
Yeah, well, as you may have guessed, I'm a dodgy old goth. So I was already a big fan of The Cure, but that was a Cure song that was done for that, and it was just like such a great scene where he's putting the makeup.
It's, you know, if Brandon Lee had
it actually has a cameo from my favorite band in it, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. They're the band that are playing downstairs when it's getting shot up upstairs
with the girl singer.
No. That's the you know when the big fight thing at the end is going on when they're upstairs. And there's that band downstairs, that industrial band. You know, I own the way of.
That's rad. That's rad.
Yeah, they're my favorite band. They're My Life in the Thrill Kill Cult. Awesome band.
Yeah, so, most horror fans, I too had a goth. I it didn't stick because I like pretty dresses and stuff. It was really fun trying to be a goth in Hawaii.
Oh, I can imagine. Are you serious? You know, one of the things that always puzzles me, because I've got friends out like in Tampa, Florida, is a really big hotbed for the goth scene. There's bands there, there's people there, but it's like, and you see like the videos are like, you see clips of them, pictures of them, they're walking around in like PVC pants and things like that. It's like, in that humidity, how have you not boiled to death? It's just like,
you know, it's probably like, maybe like they say saunas are good for you. Maybe it's like the sauna effect inside the trip pants.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, but like I say, but like music, like you tend to get really good songs in video games now.
Like, have you ever played? This is right up your alley. The horror game, The Cat Lady.
The what now? What?
The horror game, The Cat Lady is what it's called.
Oh, The Cat Lady. No, that's on my list. That's on my list to play.
So that's one of my favorite video games of all time.
Right.
And
that's all. I have a backlog of games that I need to play, and that's on my list.
Do you know what it's about?
Vaguely. Again, I try not to spoil it myself, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is absolutely brilliant. And they have the band Warmer does a bunch of the music in it, and the singer of Warmer actually voices a character, a reoccurring character throughout that trilogy, because it's like all in the same universe.
Yeah,
multiple games in that. I think it's the Devil Came Through Here trilogy, and it's all very just. It opens up with this crazy rock song that comes in at just the perfect point, and the cinematography is just impeccable with that really great kind of like throwback rock music.
Excellent. No, actually, yeah. I mean, you notice it a lot more now, that you tend to get like voice actors like proper voice actors and things.
Do you know who is in The Cat Lady?
No.
David Firth, Salad Fingers.
Salad Fingers. Oh,
he voices two characters, a husband and wife psychopath duo. And he voices them both.
I haven't thought about Salad Fingers for years, and then somebody posted a GIF like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about Salad Fingers." That was
my god. David Firth just rebooted it.
Has he? Excellent.
He did a soft reboot, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I almost went into animation, and I actually interned at an animation studio, and
cool.
He really worked hard on this new one. Like, imagine Salad Fingers with really good animation and really gross animation.
Nice. Has he still got the rusty spoon? You'd better still have rusty spoons.
This one's not about the rusty spoons. It's about one of his little finger puppets. He sews.
Oh yeah, nice.
He sews some flesh to him to make him a real flesh boy.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'm gonna have to check that. Is that online somewhere then?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm checking that out. I'm watching that a bit. I loved Salad Fingers. It was just brilliantly disturbed.
I'm friends with him on Facebook just because we have a bunch of like friends in common, and that's when I found out that he was rebooting it, and I was like, a gift for me? How kind of you. And it's funny when you have so many like friends in horrors, the way these things overlap.
It is, isn't it?
It's really fun.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Where you'll see somebody pop up and go, "Oh, I know them." It's like, "Oh, you know them as well, do you?" And it's
There's
strange,
so many people I became friends with just because, like, I'm like, "Oh, well, we have 300 friends in common." But it's led to some really fantastic friendships.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I like about social media. I mean, I've been, especially like, I think the pandemic's given me a bit of because I was kind of always had a real love-hate for it, and I still do to a degree. I hate aspects of it, but I like the. It's like I don't think I'd have survived the pandemic with my sanity and vaguely intact if it hadn't have been the fact that I could like talk to people online and like interact with people. Because I can imagine if it was back in like the 90s before mobile phones and dial-up internet.
Oh god, like the war flashbacks hearing that.
Yeah. Oh god, madness, wasn't it?
I bet you played Oregon Trail.
Yeah, Oregon Trail. Yeah. Yeah. Right then. Let's stop wrapping this up.
Sounds
excellent.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been great.
It was so lovely talking to you, Tim. Thanks.
Yeah,
for
you'll have to come
me.
back here. We'll do this again.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
please.
Most people end up coming back because we start talking. It's like, oh, we've got loads more things we could talk about.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So your book. What's the full title of it again? My brain.
We Rotted in the Bitterlands.
We Rotted in the Bitterlands, and there it is with that awesome cover.
Comes out on the 11th.
Yep. And if you want to get hold of a copy of that, go to getbook.at/Bitterlands. Oh, my stupid I've never used this background thing before. Because I usually have a background set up, but I didn't have time to do it. So I thought, I'll just put a picture. Anyway, Callum's going to put
Tentacle/Bitterlands.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's getbook.at/Bitterlands. And like I say, all of her links will be underneath. There'll be a Goodreads
Thank
link.
You so much.
And also a link to the other ebook sellers for your different formats. That's just your Amazon link, that one.
Mm-hmm.
The books to read one, because there's no way I'm trying to read that out with all them twos and B's. I hate books to read links. They're just so messy.
Yeah, no, everything's easier when it's typed out.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. So, and she is on Twitter. So that's at Karma Baum.
Yeah.
Karma Baum.
Yeah, my online handle is Slave to Karma, but taken most places, so I karma bound.
Nice, I like it. And also, she's on Instagram, which that's Instagram.
Yeah, I got a new author Instagram.
Awesome.
Rachel Nussbaum writes. Thank you so much for writing those out.
Oh, it's all right. Just usually you can see them better. But anyway, Callum will put them underneath in some nice shiny.
No, I love it. Cthulhu demands it.
Cthulhu does demand it. Like, yeah, nice squid behind.
he's got a
Yeah, man, I like it. I might use the squid more often. It's just, I always was like, oh crap, I haven't got time to put the, because I used like put up fairy lights and all the rest of it. And I was like, oh crap, I'm running late. I haven't got time. What should I do? Oh, I can put a thing on Zoom, can't I? I know. Here's a picture of a squid.
Have a squid.
Have a squid.
As a treat.
Yeah, as a treat to you all at home. Well, I wish you the best of luck with the launch of your book.
Thank you so much, Tim.
No,
Absolutely
not
delightful
a problem.
talking to you again.
I will, yeah. I'll have to have a read of that myself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. And thank you all for watching. It's been Rachel Nussbaum, and I'm Tim Mendees, and I will see you next time. Good night.
You have some very definite ideas about what should be done with Danny.
Maybe he should be taken to a doctor.
Maybe he should be taken to a doctor.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Here's Johnny.
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever. And ever. And ever.
Days in the sun, such harmless fun, they remind my heart of you. But you crumbled away, now alone I will play. My heart crumbled away with you too. Bundles of flowers, a bouquet towers, they remind my heart of you. But your soul flew away, how I wish it could stay. My heart flew away with you too. Rows of stones, such beautiful bones, they remind my heart of you. But you rotted away at the